you especially for offering me the considerable honor of a degree of offering me an honorary degree from this distinguished university. I'm absolutely delighted to be here. This is my third visit to Greece.
If you take your reforms.
After I take these off, I can
Yeah.
do better. Yes.
Because you hear Greek.
That's a big help. But as I was saying, this is our third visit to Greece, and every visit has been just wonderful. We've had great times in Corinth and in Athens, and now for the first time in Thessaloniki. So I thank all of you for making it possible for me to be here. I would like to say a few things about the world, and then I welcome your questions, and hope we'll have a good discussion. The United States has been, since its inception, a very warlike country. That's not the way Americans think of themselves. We think we're very peaceful and only fight wars when we have to, and that all of our wars are for the sake of peace, and all of our wars are just wars. That's, of course, typical of the way countries look at themselves. It's not typical of the way other countries look at a given country, and I'm sure it's not the way most foreigners look at the United States. Dating from 1983, the United States fought 6 wars. That's a lot of wars in 20 years. I mean, there are very few countries that fight as much as the United States does. And the wars that we fought were not necessary wars, they were unnecessary, starting with Iraq and running through such countries as Grenada. And why were we fighting Grenada? I don't know. I don't think anybody knows, but we did it. And similarly, other poor and weak countries, we seem to delight in beating up poor and weak countries. I must say that American behavior has been the behavior that is typical of great powers, and especially of dominant powers, through history. Well, as Alexander Hamilton said, one of our founding fathers, one cannot find an instance where a dominant power behaved moderately and responsibly for more than a very short period of time. We conform to that observation made long ago by Alexander Hamilton. Now, the United States, by general consensus, is at the outset of a period of decline. And already we notice that we're less inclined to fight. We ventured into Libya, say with a big toe, and then we promptly withdrew. And I think that may be an indication that the United States is becoming a more mature and a more responsible power than it has been through much of its history. I certainly hope that's the case. And there are many indications that our President, Obama, intends to and does follow a more moderate international political course than has been typical of the United States through its history. There's not a country in the world that is as little threatened as the United States is. Yet the United States spends about as much money on its military forces as does the rest of the world combined. It's, I should think, a puzzle for most non-Americans to account for that. But it's part of the democratic ethos of the United States, and indeed it's part of the two-party system Each party goes to the other. Each party is afraid that the other party will accuse it of being soft, not sufficiently dedicated to maintaining the military strength of the United States. So there's a kind of a spiral upward, which is now leveling off and perhaps being reversed. If one thinks only of the recent past, you know, why did the United States fight in Vietnam? We had no interest there. And in fact, both Henry Kissinger and Brezhnev, who were the two people most influential in foreign policy of their countries at the time, said while the war was going on that it does not matter who wins or loses in Vietnam. Who wins or who loses will have no effect on the world's balance of power. The people it affected, of course, were the people of Vietnam, long-suffering. There was no possibility of gain for either the United States or the Soviet Union. It was a worthless, useless, pointless war, as I think probably almost everybody agrees, in retrospect. Unfortunately, not at the time. So I would like to say not much more and give everybody an opportunity to ask the questions and enter into this discussion as they wish. But I want to finish by thanking you very much for having me here and say again how delighted I am to be in Greece once more. Thank you.